Hello. Hello. As soon as I hit the record button, I had a fucking poopy ache. What the fuck? Don't worry, I don't have to go poo poo. It's just like a fart that's coming out. Welcome to the podcast.
Good morning, Korea.
Why the fuck is there a blue circle loading screen next to my mouse? That's gone. I'm gonna wait for the fucking command prompt to open up and be like, "We're not doing anything. Don't look at us," and then disappear. I got a capture card recently, and now my computer's not working, and I'm scared. it had 5K reviews, so I was like, it's gotta be okay. It's just gotta be.
So that's the amount of reviews, but what was the review score aggregate?
4.2 out of 5.
That's fair. That's
Yeah, so I was like, it's got a lot of people, and it's got a lot of people saying that it's a pretty good thing. So I was like, okay, I'll buy it. And now it's like, oh no, what's it doing to my computer? But it doesn't seem like anything's bad. It's just a lot of settings are fucking weird. Like Discord was muted for some fucking reason, and some shit like that and stuff. Like headphones were changed, like settings of what the output and input were set around it. I just had a weird burp, and that felt like I was with the puke
computer
everywhere.
revolting against you for putting in like cheap foreign technology. It's not American technology.
I mean, then it would explode because half of the things that make it up aren't even
Your
American.
computer
I
is
don't think the
applying
computer
tariffs.
is even an American computer.
Computer is applying tariffs.
Yeah, the computer's applying tariffs, and the tariffs are shitting itself. How are you doing? I'm cold as fuck. It's so cold here.
I'm starting to get sweaty.
Ooh.
It's turning summer here as it turns winter there for you.
Yeah, I think. Oh, I'm gonna check the exact temperature right now. The exact temperature at this moment. Where'd it go? Oh, 48 degrees Fahrenheit, which I don't know how much that is Celsius. I don't feel like it'll instantly say what it is. Oh yeah, there we go. We can do Celsius. So in Celsius, that's 9 degrees.
9 degrees. That is fairly cold for me.
Yeah, it gets colder here. It gets a lot
No, I mean, it's
colder.
only the beginning of the cold season there for
Yeah.
you, so I imagine it's gonna get a lot colder.
Well, I mean, it actually picks up later on. We get, hold on, if I go back into Celsius right here, 14 degrees, 16, 16, 18, 14, 16 for the next couple days. So it gets higher. But that's not gonna stay for long. I needed to like have a day of raining. I hope this Friday here is just fully just raining the whole time because I need that. We haven't had like we had like nightly rain the other day, but like I need like a full fucking torrential downpour of rain. Also, I think that weather screen showed where I lived, so I need to censor that out in post. I need to censor that out later.
It's a good thing nobody will ever find me.
Because you don't fucking show your dumb ass, your fucking address because you're not stupid.
Yeah,
I
well,
think my computer, because of how often I Google things about South Africa, it's now giving me South African news.
oh, anything interesting that caught your eye?
The rand is falling in value.
Well, I mean, that's no surprise. We've been consistently falling in value for a long time. Slowly. Because look,
It just says
when I
it
was in
slips
high
further
school,
after Trump win.
when I was in high school, this is about, let's give it 15 years ago, right? It was approximately 10 to 12 rand to the dollar.
Right, and now it's
And
like
now
fucking
it's
40.
about 22, 25
Yeah,
rand.
we went over this I think on the podcast or in person from private, but like yeah, it's bad.
It's
It's
bad.
bad.
I
It's
mean,
pretty bad.
look, I
Yeah,
think
there's
it has a
worse.
lot. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that it's very hard for foreign investors to have faith in South Africa.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
here's a couple of top reasons why. Number one, our government is undeniably closely linked to Russia.
And corruption.
Number two is nothing runs in this country without corruption. Like, not to be funny about it, but at this point, the corruption is so deep that it is a part of the system, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like you can't like it's like Mexico in corruption. It's like you kind of gotta take a couple bribes from from some people if you need shit done. It's just like unofficial
Yeah.
policy. Yeah.
Because I know I have mentioned on the podcast before when they found like what was it, 20 million US dollars in cash under the president's bed.
He's like, oh,
And
it's
we only found this out. Did I tell you how they found that out?
no, I actually don't think you did.
They robbed his house.
Some burglar's like,
They,
hey, this guy's taking bribes.
oh shit, motherfuckers got cash.
Holy shit, American dollars. We're rich.
Uncle Cyril.
Uncle Cyril. That's Ramaphosa, right?
Yeah, Ramaphosa.
Ramaphosa.
I wonder
I'm
how
so
many of
smart.
my presidents' names you can actually fucking
There's
pronounce.
5 of them.
No, there's like 4 of them.
Oh, there's. I thought there was 5. Okay, I thought there was one who was like a president for like a year.
No, there was the guy who stepped in for like a month.
That's who I was thinking of. I'm going technicals
Yeah,
here.
nobody talks. Nobody cares. Nobody talks.
Okay, okay. So your current one is
But it was
Ramaphosa.
Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson Mandela, who I obviously could pronounce that. Yeah, Cyril Ramaphosa is your current one.
Yeah.
Criminal Man. What's his fucking name? Criminal Man.
He's got the easiest name. Come on now.
I just can't remember who he is.
Jacob Zuma.
Jacob Zuma. He's the corrupt man. He's
the super corrupt guy.
And I just don't remember the. Hold on. I could Google his name, and because the point is to pronounce it, not to remember who it is. The point is to pronounce.
Yeah, it's the pronouncing, not the remembering. I don't expect you. Let me pull it up on my screen because I got it. Yeah, let's say this name.
Thabo Mbeki.
Mbeki.
That's actually who I was thinking of. I just couldn't remember if he was a president or if he was like a different politician or something.
The one you're thinking
Thabo
of is this one, and I challenge you to say this fucking name.
Kagamalema Mohante. Kalema?
Motlante. Yes.
Motlante.
Look, I can barely pronounce it. Okay. I live in this country. I can barely pronounce it.
Govan Mbeki looks fucking sick as shit. Who the hell is that? Is that his son?
Who is this?
Govan Mbeki. Go back to that.
Govan Mbeki.
Is that his son? The fuck? He looks.
No, I think
shit. Oh, he was a communist.
He's his father.
Yeah, it is his son.
He was also one of the freedom fighters during the fight against apartheid. Govan Mbeki.
Hell yeah, cool. He looks cool as shit.
Good guy. But I mean, back then it was really hard to be a bad guy.
Oh, and Julius Malema.
How about this guy?
Oh, Julius Malema.
How about this guy?
I know that guy. Is he on a podcast? He's on like a fucking. No. He's on like a podcast.
No, this is just what news shows look like. No, I'm kidding. This is probably a podcast.
Yeah.
But this guy, I actually saw popular political YouTuber Vaush made another video on this guy, which is really funny to me because in South Africa he has never been less relevant.
Yeah, no, after the election is just bad.
Like
no one.
Which is funny to me of why like Vaush was talking about it.
Wait, when did Vaush make a video on
him? Like a week or 2 ago.
Really? I don't remember that.
He just meant he's more rehashing the previous video he made like a year ago about Malema.
Desmond Tutu
is a decent dude. He was almost
he was
Pope.
That's how I remember him. Yeah. He was the priest. That's a fun photo. He looks like that first photo. He looks like he's like in a movie, like a comedy movie, or so. He's like,
Desmond Tutu is a lovely individual, and that's me saying this about a
picture. Look at that, like MS Paint art down there.
That's awesome. This is me saying that about a Catholic
He looks so cool there. Hold on, go below that one with the fucking that one. He looks so fucking cool. No, above it, with him with the sunglasses on. The one next to that on the left. No, on the left. That one. He looks so cool. He's got a fucking scepter in his hands.
Can you imagine if this dude was Pope?
Dude, if he was Pope, he'd be the fucking coolest Pope. Oh my god.
Him just like casually hanging.
He literally is like dressed like a grandpa. He's like, hey.
Also, since you're more fashion minded than me.
Yeah. Are we gonna get some fashion from Nelson Mandela?
What
type of fashion? Yeah.
Here we go. Like, look at these clothes he'd wear. Look at these shirts. Like,
Very, very stylish.
this is him meeting MJ.
They feel very informal, but I don't know South African like fashion culture. But to me, they look informal, and they also obviously are they aren't like conforming to like a more Western sensibility, which is very good, you know.
The funny thing is that he was the only president who dressed like this
Yeah,
that
and
we
I
had.
could see why. Like it's
Becky wore suits.
yeah, like all the other ones are
Um,
wearing suits, and he's out here wearing like
but
shirts,
I
like
will tell
just
you
shirts.
this:
They're very nice shirts.
it, Nelson Mandela is an anomaly in the ANC, actually, because a lot of the ANC is filled with what I think you refer to as neocons,
Oh yeah, neoconservatives, yeah.
like
Like
business
Ronald
people,
Reagan. Yeah, business people who are very concerned with business money, money,
business
money, business
interests.
money, 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 business. Also, we need to nuke the
Right.
Middle East.
Mandela was 100% behind socialist ideals like healthcare for everybody,
So he's like a
education for
he's like
everybody.
a social democrat.
Yes, he is a
Okay.
person who was like consider like the end of apartheid was obviously a very scary time in South Africa.
Right.
And so his 4 years as president,
Did
he
him with Michael
stepped down.
Jackson.
He never went for a second term.
Right.
His 4 years as president, people say he didn't do much policy wise, right?
Hmm.
But one of the things that he did is that he kept the country from civil war. I
That's really
would
important.
say that he is single-handedly
Michael Jackson.
responsible for saving the country from civil war. And the way he did that in South Africa was sport.
Yeah, we've talked about this. Yeah,
Yeah,
with that context, that one movie that had Morgan Freeman playing him.
yeah. There was two movies about his life coming that came out around about the same time, but I don't know. The Matt Damon one was weird. It's just proof to me that nobody can do the South African accent. I say that I can't even do the South
Yeah,
African
you
accent.
don't even have it.
I don't even have the South African accent.
Yeah.
So
Well, very, very kindly grandpa man, honestly.
no, he was a lovely individual, and I love the fact that he stepped down after one term. Not be, I would have wished for more time with him as president,
Hmm.
but him stepping down says a lot about his own personal ethics.
Yeah,
Because although
very
he was a
much like
leader of the ANC and did a lot of building bridges between communities in South Africa,
mhm.
when he stepped down, part of his reasoning was is that I'm not a president.
Yes, yeah.
This is not what like I
Yeah,
signed up for.
a lot of people conflate like a good activist with a good politician and vice versa. Like sometimes you get someone who would be good at both. Like Bernie Sanders is a good politician and he's a good activist. But he's a better
Hmm.
but like someone like MLK or Malcolm X, they're great activists. I could not see them being a politician on like a presidential scale, right? Like they're
Yeah.
different skill sets, and like it's important to know that. So him stepping down after one term is a pretty intelligent decision. However, the issue is that the ANC kind of just sucks.
Mm. Look, back then they still
Back then
were
they weren't
pretty good.
sucky. Now
I
they
mean,
suck.
look, even though they had that sort of business sense, because, the money's got to come from somewhere when you're running
A
a
third
campaign
world
to
country.
overthrow your government.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's 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 just scary how different it is now compared to what it was.
Yeah.
And
It's
my opinion is, I will have my hot take here on the podcast, my hottest take about South Africa. The ANC needs to be dismantled.
dismantled. Ooh.
Yes,
Not
we need
even
to
like
stop the existence of the ANC. Not its values. The old values of the ANC need to be upheld.
right.
But my belief is that the culture of the modern ANC has become so corrupted by various things that the only way to reset us back is to remove, even if they just change the name,
Right.
right?
Like
Because people in South Africa are voting emotionally. Because one of the tactics that the ANC employs during
Is
the time when
yeah,
Nelson Mandela was alive, they would say, if you don't vote ANC,
Nelson Mandela will die.
he will die.
Yeah, I remember you.
God
We've
will
talked
kill
about
him.
this before.
Right. After Nelson died, they leaned on the other half of their rhetoric, which was if the largest opposing party, the DA, generally filled with white folk, wins, they'll bring back apartheid, which is fear mongering. That's pure
Yeah,
fear
that
mongering.
can't happen. Like
It won't.
it won't
Like
happen.
apartheid
It's
is not coming
like
back.
threatening to bring back segregation or slavery. Like you can't do that. Like
Right.
nobody's gonna support that.
Right. So it's fear mongering, and it's because a lot of the population is still struggling to get education, and the ANC relies on that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the further we get away from the 90s and apartheid and all that, and the more people who grow up away, like more people grow up without apartheid in their life, I think the ANC will have less of that rhetoric be as effective. But
You'd be
yeah,
surprised
bec-
because what's
I mean, yeah, it's
happening is that the
yeah.
younger generation in South Africa
Hmm.
who didn't experience apartheid firsthand are being told about the legacy of apartheid
Yeah,
and then following the Malema line of reasoning. Even though Malema was a fucking teenager when the shit
yeah,
ended. Like he wasn't part of the fight in the same way that Zuma or Mandela or like Mbeki or uh, any of those people were.
yeah.
But he's the one who rages against the apartheid thing louder than anybody else.
Right.
So it's actually like getting a lot stronger in that sense, not weaker.
Right, right. I can see what you're saying. Like instead
Yeah.
of like growing up with like Mandela as a voice, as a resistance voice, you're growing up with fucking Malema, who's very militant and vocal and
A crook.
raging against something that's like
And a crook.
and a crook. He's a crook too. Like Nixon. I'm not a crook. Ha ha ha. I don't know.
I don't
it's
know.
all complicated.
Every time I think of these comparisons, I just think of like how corrupt some of the leadership in South Africa is
I don't
in all
think
in many parties. Comparatively, it feels like South African political crooks make even the worst American political crooks look clean as a whistle.
well, I'm actually going to think about that. I was trying to think of who were the most corrupt presidents, and I think aside from Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is really fucking
Donald
corrupt.
Trump's a different category.
Historically, I think the most corrupt president I could think of is Warren G. Harding. Um, which you're like, who the fuck is this guy? Well, he's like kind of known for these scandals. I've been here before, but the
Teapot
scandals,
Dome, Justice
yeah.
Department
So
sounds scary. Veterans Bureau sounds scary. What's a Teapot Dome?
the Teapot Dome is a specific place. So this is kind of the thing that defined his thing. Uh, a political corruption scandal in the United States involving Warren Harding, centered on the Interior Secretary Albert Fall, released a Navy petroleum reserve at Teapot Dome in Wyoming. Those two other pictures. The private he sold, so he leased the Navy's petroleum reserves to private companies for no bidding at all and for cheap. And then they were
Oh,
investigated and they were convicted of bribes from the oil companies. Paul became the
oh.
presidential candidate to go
No,
to
we
prison
we
with no
still
conviction.
pretend to do the bidding
Yeah, no. It was no, yeah, like, oh yeah, here you go. Well, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then before the
before the
Watergate
Watergate
scandal,
scandal.
it was
Teapot
considered the
Dome was
greatest.
retarded.
Yeah, it permanently damaged his reputation, and it already hurt the handling of the railroad strike in 1922 and Harding's veto of the bonus bill. Yeah, so Harding was the president during the first half of the 1920s, which, the Roaring Twenties is when World War One ended.
Uh,
America made a fuck ton of money from the war, and was kind of like seen as an up and coming like major power. Everyone was rich and rich, big business. The presidents at the time were Warren Harding, who died in office. I
Woodrow
forget how he died of
Melvin.
I think he died of becoming an alcoholic and all the related issues that happened with that. I think, or was it a stroke? Hemorrhage. It was a cerebral hemorrhage,
Cerebral
and then a
hemorrhage.
cardiac arrest. So his brain went dumb, and then his heart went dumb in like an hour, and then he died. He was known for having a lot of sex in the office, and then he was followed up
Wasn't
by
it
his vice president.
presidents before like the 60s?
Hmm?
Were there most presidents before the 60s? Or am I just thinking of
That's most presidents in general, like Bill Clinton,
like
Donald Trump. They were fucking in the office.
JFK?
JFK was fucking all over the place. Oh my god. Calvin Coolidge followed him, more of the small government, big business sort of deal. He served for one term, and then it was Herbert Hoover, who was seen as like a war hero from World War One because he
I've heard
basically,
of Herbert Hoover.
yeah,
I've been to Hoover Dam
Hoover
in
Dam,
New Vegas.
yeah. So yeah, he was head of the Commission for Relief in Belgium, and that basically made it so Belgium didn't starve during World War One, and so he's kind of like a hero in Belgium today. But
So
it helped him
if
win the
that's the
presidency
most
because,
corrupt of your
well,
presidents, like
financial corruption. The most corrupt is probably, other than obviously Donald Trump with all of his bribes from Russia and Nixon with his fucking spying on people. Yeah, that's probably the worst of it.
the thing is that
Well,
we
he
never
also had,
had issues like a Nixon. We
yeah,
didn't have like the whole spying on people thing.
yeah. That's a very Cold War fucking thing. Grant was really corrupt because he gave a lot of nepotism positions and shit.
I thought
Uh,
people loved Grant.
oh, I love Grant, but as a president, he wasn't really the best. Like I said, he was a two-term president. Oh my god, he was a two-term president. I always forget that. He was extremely drunk all the time. He's probably the president who drank the most. He was incredibly like fond of
Wait, is
putting his
this the
friends in office.
president that held that legendary White House party?
I don't know. I don't know
I
about
remember
that.
hearing, I don't remember when or who, but I remember hearing about a party at the White House that was so bad they basically trashed the entire White
Look
House
at this fucking
getting
list
drunk.
of scandals. This whole Wikipedia page just for scandals.
God, what a guy. What a
Oh
guy.
yeah, what a guy! And they're all
What a
like, they're
guy.
all. I'm pretty sure they're all like just corruption, like just blatant. Like, yeah, I put this guy in charge and he was bribing money out. Yeah, fucking rings of people. Yeah, it's yeah, like oh yeah, salary grab, the Sanborn incident. I wonder what these are all about. The Department of
I
the
will
Interior.
say,
Yeah,
like, that does feel like a very military leadership thing to do,
yeah,
to appoint
and a
people who
drunk
are close
too,
to you
and a
and you
drunk,
trust.
and a yeah, my drinking buddy. I put him in charge of the Department of Defense.
God.
Anyway, Herbert Hoover fucked up relief to the Great Depression after the Black Tuesday or whatever the fuck it's called, and then Franklin Delano Roosevelt became president for 4 fucking terms. That's how you run a campaign. This is how you run a fucking campaign. These fucking elections. I think 1940 was his big blowout. I think Wendell Willkie, or was it 44? Was it 44? It wasn't 40. Was it 36? Yes, 36 was his blowout election.
Oh my
Ooh,
goodness.
yeah, that's a blowout.
Oh my goodness.
That's not even the biggest blowout in U.S. history. I think the biggest is Ronald Reagan's second term, which would be the election of 1984. 1984 election. I do think this is the biggest blowout in U.S. history. Only state that went to Mondale was The only state that went to Walter Mondale was Minnesota and D.C., but D.C. votes are different and stuff. So that's the only two places that actually, yeah, states carried 1 plus DC 49. This is the biggest landslide in U.S. history.
Wait, so Bush Senior was Reagan's vice?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that
and
makes
and then
sense.
he ran and then won the next presidency, but only was a one-term president. And his vice president was fucking Dan Quayle. If you know anything about Dan Quayle,
I have
this is
never heard a single good fucking word about
this
Dan
is the
Quayle.
stupidest motherfucker to ever be in office, and I'm including JD Vance in that. This man is so fucking stupid. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. And it's like a
It's
harmless
bad.
type of
Isn't
stupid too.
stupidity, it's evil.
Yeah, no, he's not even evil. He's just stupid. I don't think this guy could pass a fucking like
So
a
like the
second
male
grade.
Sarah Palin.
Kinda, yeah, kinda. Actually, that's pretty close because I'm pretty sure if we go by vice presidential candidates, uh, popularity, those two are the worst. Because I want is it hold on, popularity historical. Most U.S. vice presidents in recent decades. Hang on.
This is an article. Oh,
It's
here's a
become more
picture.
Okay. Oh, this is them running for president. Okay, well, that's not what I want. How many vice presidential? Hold on. Hey guys, like we just typed Sarah fucking Palin. For those who don't know, Sarah Palin was the running mate for the 2008 election for the Republicans. What the fuck? John McCain. John McCain. She was horrible.
Governor of Alaska.
Yeah, Alaskan governor. I can see Russia from my backyard. She's really fucking. She was really, really bad. I don't know what she's doing nowadays, considering that's the most recent position. Oh no, yeah, that's the most recent position he had was governor of Alaska. She's not really doing too
Who's
much.
currently the governor of Alaska?
Probably a Republican. This guy, Mike Dunleavy. That's a really,
I've done that.
that's a really familiar name. I guess because
I
he's a
do
governor.
recognize that name from somewhere.
Mike Dunleavy. What's he done? Political positions. Ooh, wow, he's got a lot. What was his response to George Floyd?
The guy.
Terrific,
Horrific.
and thanked Alaskans for the peaceful protests. People absolutely have the right to protest. This is America. What occurred in Minneapolis when Mr. Floyd was killed. Okay, so he's like, this guy's probably like a fucking, like a just a generic conservative.
Conservative man.
A MAGA guy would not have said this.
Yeah, no,
Sexual
doesn't
rape
strike me.
kits. He's putting in rape kits. Yeah, no, this guy is just an average conservative, which is like par for the course for Alaska.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
It's Alaska.
it's Alaska, and this guy's from Indiana. Dan Quayle. Anyway, he's really
Like,
stupid. I think he ran for president.
I
I don't
don't
think he did.
think Alaska swings heavy in the States, does it?
No, no, he does not. Post vice presidency. Oh yeah, he ran in 2000.
Whale.
He ran in 2000 for the fucking spot against George W. Bush. He's like, I ran with your father. I went your father. He's so stupid. He's so stupid.
What a guy.
Whatever. Who cares? Yeah, we'll move away from the historical political discussion now, because I want to talk about something I learned today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really really cool thing. I take an ASL class for context, everyone. I take an ASL, American Sign Language, and it's got its highs and lows. Most of it, the highs are when it's not hard, and all the lows are when it is hard. But it's obviously learning a new language. It's gonna be hard and shit. But you get a lot of interesting stuff out of it. A lot of like new like worldly information, and deaf culture is a very distinct thing. It's not like just like being deaf isn't just like, oh, I can't hear. It's like a whole different culture, community, world, language, obviously all that. So there's and it's already so different. And then there are people out there who can't see and can't hear, deaf blind people, and so their world is even more different than that. And so language has to culminate. So I learned of this thing in our class called protactile signing, and holy shit, this is so fucking cool. I already find ASL to be extremely interesting from like a linguistic point of view, and like a communication. Like it's all really cool how like we're able to still communicate if we don't have access to the thing that like is primarily communication. And then it's like even more so for this. So the way it like I have some videos pulled up. I have the one that we watched in class about it, where like I'm gonna mute it. PBS won't copyright strike us, right? PBS,
PBS.
public broadcasting. Yeah, they're not gonna do that. But I want to get to this here. They're currently explaining like what they're saying here, but I have it muted. You can see that it's like entirely like so. This is the reporter here, and these two people are deaf blind, and she's speaking to both of them while they're like holding hands here. The hands down here on their that's back channeling, like nodding in a conversation. That's letting them know they're paying attention. That's like, oh like the, oh, I see, yes, I understand, yeah. And she's like bringing their arms to her to communicate, and they're feeling the signs she's doing on her hands, and they're following along, and it's so fucking interesting. Like you can like the signs, like a lot of these are ASL signs put into this. This woman here is deafblind, and she's like the person who basically created this language. She's like, this one is really fucking cool. They were saying that she's from Croatia and grew up deaf blind in like a family of people who didn't do any sign language or anything. So she's basically, and then she went on to go get a fucking master's degree in America and fucking create a language and shit and have a successful like school and shit for deaf blind people. And it's like, holy crap, that's so fucking cool.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
What's the woman's
And
name?
she looks like shit. I forget her name.
These are the creators and teachers of Protactile, or PT, and they will be taking us inside their world, a world experienced and expressed wholly through touch.
Our biggest organ is our skin. You know that people eat
Sign language or
I could probably find it if we go through here when they start interviewing her specifically. Here she is.
Jalika Nuccio.
Yeah.
Elisa Nuccio,
Elisa.
trailblazer and one of the creators of Protactile, served as my guide. So
They have they describe how there's there's like a house for deaf-blind people for like them to live near the University of, I think, Wyoming or Oregon, one of those two. And the entire house is also for context, the reporter here has Usher syndrome, which is how a significant number of deaf-blind people lose their sight and hearing. Is my Wi-Fi cutting out? What the hell's happening? Why won't this search? No, there we go. Usher syndrome. It's a degenerative illness that slowly eats away at your sight and hearing. And the reporter has cochlear implants, which are a hearing device. So she's like doing this because it's obviously really new to her personally. So she goes to the house they have for the deaf blind. Here's describing it. This whole house, it's completely blackout. You can't see on the inside. And she takes out her implants so she can't hear either, and she is given the experience of what it's like to live deaf blind.
And when I got there, it was completely dark.
Also, they do fucking rotoscoping, which is insane for a little PBS interview.
And being able to hear put me at a disadvantage if I was trying to learn a
And
off.
they like eat dinner in the complete dark,
so
learning like the surroundings and all that.
touch.
Because ASL itself is like an extremely three-dimensional language. You have to set up a lot of spaces and stuff. So like when you're trying to describe per se a room, you have to physically draw the room with your hands, and like you're like, if I'm saying, it's hard to even describe this over a video call only. It's an audio call. But say if I wanted to say that there's someone on one side of the room, I would have to physically point to that person and be like, he's over there, and then that person stays in that area. Whenever I refer to them in the future, we point to him and address him in that area. So it's a very spatial, three-dimensional language, and you can't really get that in the dark and stuff. But in the dark, I mean to say, when you're blind.
Well, I mean, that is pretty dark.
Yeah, it's as dark as you can get with it. So like the three-dimensional spaces being built on the body are a very interesting way to do it. And there's a part here that I really like. She says here,
when you have messy taco fingers. When I was getting ready to leave,
this part.
My friend Leslie signed on my chest, and it felt like she was tracing the shape of like a semicircle from my left shoulder to my right shoulder. And I didn't understand, so I asked her in tactile sign, what does that mean? And she was saying goodbye to me. She was telling me that she was smiling, that she was happy to have been with me. And because I couldn't see her smiling, she was letting me know by, it was such a vulnerable and incredible experience. Certainly not something I think a sighted hearing person would ever think of or even feel comfortable with.
Like
I guess it makes sense, because in a sense, when you can see and hear people like smiling or you smiling, it's a sort of understated, doesn't need to be said or pointed at or sort of actively acknowledged.
Right.
Whereas with that sort of experience, it's a very sort of active, I am smiling. Like it's an emotional connection.
You
that's
make me
far more
happy.
active and yes, it's a which is far less focused on for people who can see and hear.
Yeah. The whole protactile signing, like you could see it here when they're in a big group. It's very it's very like personal, like communal, like you need relying on
Intimate.
relying on other people, yeah, like intimate, like you can see this, like everyone's all huddled around together so they can understand what each other are saying. It's a lot. It's very like foreign to a lot of people who aren't like I'm sure if you were like a hearing person who was like pro tactile signing with someone, and you saw or like learning about this, and you're like no connection with deaf at all, you don't speak any ASL or anything, and you're seeing this, you're like, why they're all so close, like this looks uncomfortable. But it's like this is like this to someone who can't see or hear, who the world is like basically invisible to them. This is like important. This is like needed. This is like
This is
incredible.
your only real human
Yeah.
connection, because as soon as you're a foot away from somebody, you can't see them, you can't hear
Yes,
them.
they talk about that.
They may as well not be there.
They talk about that here. They call it distancing. The issue with a lot of deaf-blind people to be left behind by the rest of the world because they can't once they lose this contact with someone. I'm trying. Yeah, here's it here where they they mention it here.
Into
But as soon as you're no longer in contact with someone, you're
We
left
don't
alone
if
again.
they don't touch us.
If you're not being touched, you're invisible to the world again. Like you can't interact with it. So these moments of like this intimate connection with someone is incredibly important. And I wanted to see what this was. This is a discussion. I just wanted to see just another example where it's outside of the video here. Just some more protactile signing. This is it in more of like a speaking sense. So this like less of that like sitting on the ground huddling and more of the Well, this isn't protactile signing. This is how deaf-blind people used to communicate, where you just it's less of the physical intimacy and more of just I'm following along to ASL while holding your hand. But they developed the developed language that happened later. I mean, obviously I can't. I'm not able to decipher what this guy's saying for the most part. I can piece together what he's saying, but he's going very fast, and I don't know half the
it's
words
like
he's
learning
using.
It's like learning
Like if
any,
I was watching to a fucking like if I was learning like Hungarian and then I was listening to fucking Hungarian like man give a speech, I'm not gonna be able to fucking know what he's saying half of it. But like a couple of words, like, oh, I know what he's... Anyway, my point is it's very interesting. It's very
when
it's
I was
very
studying linguistics,
very special, very intimate. Also,
something they
yeah.
Also pointed out is like this is a very different way of how you construct language, how languages are constructed to most of the world, and how ASL and other sign languages sort of develop. It's a very, very different paradigm.
Yeah.
And that was always interesting to me in linguistics, but obviously I never actually picked up sign language.
Yeah. I a part of me is a little upset that I decided not to go for ASL 2 next semester, but I like it's not the class itself. It's the it's the part where I need to interact with the deaf community. It's not no issue with interacting with the deaf community. It's just all the community organized events are like impossible for me to get to, and it's too much for me to stress about for like my grade. Like already I haven't gone to a single deaf community event because I haven't been able to. like I have to do 5 hours of community like contact, and like that's fine. I want to do it. I'm ready to go do that. I have some events planned out, but it's like half of the ones that I was ready to go to were just like, oh, that's an hour-long drive away. It's like
Aren't there closer deaf communities that you can instead do that with, or do you have to follow like
I have
they
to
recommend?
follow what they recommend because because there's the school interpreter training program goes to some of those events as help for the students. So you need
I
to go to the
see.
ones that have them there, and also some of them are deaf only. So it's like, hey, this is like a deaf hangout and you're not deaf, so it's like we're not gonna, because it's like sometimes like the ones I'm going to, they're expecting people to be there who are just learning ASL now, so they're like gonna be like patient, they're gonna be respectful, but sometimes like they're human beings. It's like I don't want to fucking go like teach this fucking child a new language? Go fuck off. I want to go hang out with my friends. It's like it's like, would you tag along with a small Russian boy with you if he was trying to learn English and he's like following you along everywhere? And it's like you don't want that. Like if you just want to hang out, like
I'd rather be questioning myself as to why a small Russian boy was following me.
like yeah, it's like yeah. So I got to go to the only specific. Like I'm sure there's a fuck ton of them that are like for deaf people around, but it's for the ones that I'm supposed to go to for the school. It's always like, oh yeah, there's a Dunkin' Donuts up in Trenton. We're gonna go meet there, and it's like, what the fuck? Like the school? Why? Why that one? But and then all the ones that are close, I work during, and they're announced too early for me to get off that day. So I'm just like, well, fuck that. I have to basically wait for all the ones that are on the actual school campus, which are not very common. There's one where it's like a concert for the winter. That's on the 13th, and since the semester ends on the 20th, I'm able to, the assignment has to be due on the 18th. I'm able to use that one. It's a 2-hour show, so that's 2 of the 5 hours. So I just need to find 3 hours of community service. Which if I find a 2-hour party or something, and then a fucking hour-long like fucking chat at a mall or something, and I'm fucking set to go. But I can't, like, it's just such a stressful thing to do that I don't want to give myself that stress another semester. So instead I took a history class to make up that diversities thing. I took African American history.
Do you know
So
what I wonder though?
what?
It may seem like a strange thing to think about along these lines, but I do wonder what the community of deaf-blind people
Mhm.
have for art.
Oh yeah, I've been thinking that this whole time. I was meaning to ask my professor at some point if she can point me in the direction of some like deaf art and stuff.
But
Like
not just
like
deaf,
not
but
just
like specifically
deaf
deaf-blind.
blind.
Like it would obviously have to be something tactile.
Well, there was a person they mentioned in that video who was an author, and they were deafblind. So like Helen Keller was deafblind.
Yeah.
So the way well, painting, I can see how like visual arts would go with that. You can feel out what, like, you don't know what colors you're going to choose, and I feel like that would be a part of the art. You know, it's like I don't know, like I can't, but you can feel like what material you're using, like what paint you're using and stuff. Like, oh, I want this. This is I like the thickness of this paint. I like the consistency of the paint, whatever. And I'm gonna point. I can imagine it being like I can imagine like painting with your hands instead of brushes being pretty popular, a pretty common theme.
That would make sense.
But for literature and stuff, you just translate.
Literature,
You just have a
well,
transcriber. Like
yeah,
yeah,
literature is a bit different, but I mean like other forms of art, because obviously
music could be an interesting one.
music would be very different, because as far as I can't speak, I don't know, I can't speak to a lot of this because I haven't really met a lot of deaf people in my life, but I I do know that they do listen to music, but
Yes,
just differently. They listen to the
it's vibration.
vibrations.
Yes, the
It's not
vibrations.
necessarily about what sound is being made as much as which vibrations they can feel.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it's just
like
very interesting to me what art would look like. Like literature is something different. Like
yeah.
you can have no arms, no legs, be deaf and blind, and with
Well,
today's technology, you could write a book,
yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
like
I would actually be really
other
interested in to
forms
see
of
that.
art outside of literature
I
is
would love
what
to
I'm
see
most
film.
curious about.
I would love to see acting, like like not really, because like film representation. I would guess say would be a better
Film
one. Like a
representation.
film about like from the perspective of like deaf culture. Like maybe it's made by like the brother of someone who's got a deaf blind like sister or something, and they made a movie about their life, like something like that. You know, I would love to see like more from the culture, especially from like deaf sighted people, because there's less restrictions and stuff. So I'm curious on what someone like that make. Because I was trying to think earlier, like I've been thinking about this a lot because I'm doing the fucking Marvel binge and I'm a goddamn nerd. I was like, why are there no deaf superheroes? Like, why are there none? Like, I feel like that'd be easier to do than a blind superhero, because
Very
like
curious.
like there's deaf blindness in literature, media, and colorful in the they're using too many big words.
Yeah.
Polyphonetic.
Polyphonic. It's not such a big
Polyphonic.
word. Come on now.
Polyphonic.
This is
multi.
what ringtones used to be before phones could handle like actual audio. Anyway, there's books, obviously, autobiographies,
Yes,
obviously, biographies,
biographies.
obviously, but
Films.
films.
Marriage
Here
Story
we
and
have
Feeling
2
Through.
films.
2014, 2019. French.
This might be interesting to take a
Helen
look at
Keller.
some point.
The Helen Keller Exorcism. Oh, that's another thing to talk about with deaf people too, is the age-old religious belief of going, oh, they're possessed by a demon, let's just torture the demon out of them. And then a lot of deaf people in the past, and blind people and deaf blind
Yeah,
people would just get tortured by their
like.
religion.
I don't think exorcisms are in any way like
They were a
a
dying
good
practice
thing. They
until
would,
the movie came out, and everyone was like, I want to do exorcism. And then like they came back, and the director was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this.
yeah, no, the entire idea of it is just insane
They're
to me.
horrible.
It's
They're
like
horrible. So unethical. But
it's
that's a different
I can't
discussion.
even get into it, honestly. I
Deaf
really
blind
can't. I'm gonna
podcasts.
lose.
That's really
I think
interesting. It seems it's for training though, it looks like for
yeah,
interpreters and for like people who are following
service
along
providers and
culture.
families and just children and
Yeah,
young adults
families.
combined.
Yeah.
Share
Rights
the
parents, professionals,
experiences
and
from the
interns. Yeah.
But these films are actually intriguing, and
Maybe we'll check them out.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna put them on my little list of shit to check out because
Yeah.
these are very intriguing stories, I think.
Yeah. But I was thinking like back to my point I was mentioning before this was brought up, that we have Daredevil, who's a blind superhero, but why is there no deaf superhero? Because it feels like someone who's deaf would translate better as like a superhero, because sight is a lot more important if you're beating someone up, right? But then I realized it's because of sign language. You can't really, like, how
Yes.
are you gonna write sign language on a page?
Not only that, but what if the villain just doesn't care? Like the villain's a bad guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And the bad guy in a lot of the stories are very much about like power over everything,
yeah.
which means weakness is not accepted. And they would view being deaf as a weakness. They
Well,
would not learn ASL.
well, well. Like, think of it like this: Daredevil's blind, and villains exploit that, and yet he still manages to win. So like it'd be the same as that. Like who gives a shit if the
Yes, but
villain
it's the
who gives
I'm
who
not
gives
talking
a
about winning or
shit if
losing.
the
I'm talking about
villain speaks
communication.
ASL? Like
I'm
he just the
right,
hero won't give a fuck. What?
Riley,
Sorry. Jade.
I'm talking about communication, not winning or losing.
Yeah. Okay.
How does the good guy tell the bad guy to stop doing the bad thing?
He doesn't. He just kicks his ass.
Exactly. Which means that you lack a certain something between. Like, would Batman and the Joker have the same dynamic if they never spoke?
But that's the thing, though. You're not trying to make it like the rest of those comics.
No, but
Like it could
you are
be.
still writing a comic
Like
book
imagine it like this.
story.
Imagine it like this: a wordless comic that follows a deaf character, a deaf superhero, and everything is entirely delivered through physical, like, physicality. Characters will still talk, but we won't hear what they say. Like we'll see their mouth open and stuff, but there won't be any, like, we won't know what they're saying, right? And instead of like this all being conveyed through, I don't know, I wouldn't know how to do it,
I
but
feel
like
I
I
feel
could
like
see
it
it
would need to
working.
be done incredibly well by a very good storyteller in order to be continuously intriguing.
Is there a deaf superhero? I just want to see. I wonder if there's one that I'm just like, oh wait, hold on. Alakwa Cox. Yeah, no, there's. Oh, it's a character. Oh, wait a minute. Echo. She's deaf. I forgot about that. That's like Hawkeye's daughter or some shit. I'm pretty sure the actress is deaf too. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, there is a. Yes. There is a deaf superhero. Echo. Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Adopted daughter of the supervillain Kingpin.
Oh, she's the daughter of Kingpin. Oh, I thought she was in the Hawkeye show. I know that, but
Been a member
I thought
of
she
the
was Hawkeye's
Avengers
daughter.
and the New Avengers at various points in their history.
Yeah. Maya Lopez.
Debuting in the television series Hawkeye and starring in her own spin-off series Echo.
Yeah, she's a Native American. That's what I remember about the show. I remember hearing that it was about a Native American protagonist. I never remember hearing that she was deaf, and I remember hearing it once. Yeah, ASL.
So what is her
That's cool.
superpower then?
I think she's just cool. I don't
Like
know.
she's just strong and can fight bad guys.
Hold on. Yeah, I think her whole expert martial artist, combat, highly skilled acrobat, photographic reflexes, as the Phoenix. Oh wait, what the fuck? She gets Phoenix Force abilities? God damn, comics are wild. she becomes.
It's always wild.
Oh, Daredevil! I love you,
Universe,
Daredevil. You're so cool. But that's cool.
story.
So there is a deaf superhero. I didn't even know. She's adopted
Photographic
Ronan.
reflexes, superhuman physicality, prodigy, master combatant,
When was she
and
introduced?
uniquely
She was
deaf.
introduced in Daredevil 9. Not I don't think this is the original Daredevil, but in 1999, and then she was introduced as Ronan in the New Avengers in 2005.
Photographic reflexes.
Meaning that like it's
Taskmaster.
yeah, I guess.
Similar to that, I imagine, where he
guess.
sees somebody do a thing and then he can do the thing because he saw them do the thing.
No, that's not reflexes. I'm thinking
But
it's like it's in the speed of a photograph. I don't fucking know. It could be that. It could be that. I don't know. She was
because
Phoenix?
photographic means that she's had to have seen it first.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
And then that becomes an automatic part of her reflexes. So it's not a conscious effort on her part to then try to do the thing. She just does the thing. That's how it reads to me.
Right. Well, I'm very interested to see the show now. I just thought she was just Native American. I just completely forgot about the deaf part. And considering the actress is deaf, Alaqua Cox, can't spell today. Alaqua, probably Alaqua.
Born deaf as well.
Yeah.
And her right leg is amputated.
Really? This woman is like
Badass.
yeah. Good for her. Only in 2 things so far, Hawkeye and Echo. Good for her. Good for her. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, you can see the prosthetic there.
Okay.
Good for her.
One-legged deaf actress plays superhero. I actually like the world again.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I'm actually really excited to watch Echo now. I only think I've been Echo. Yeah,
I
you
might
might
even watch Echo, and that's coming from me.
All I knew about Echo is that it had Kingpin in it. It was about someone who worked with Hawkeye or some. It had some relation to the Hawkeye show, and the main character was Native American. That's all I knew about it. But now I know that fucking Echo is a deaf-blind superhero, and the actress is not blind, just deaf superhero, and the actress is fucking got a prosthetic and kicking people's asses. That's cool as shit. That's really cool. Good for her.
The world again.
That's good for her. I'm happy I ate my words with there not being any deaf superheroes. I'm happy that I was proved wrong on that end.
As am I.
Yeah, I'm
You're not often proven wrong.
I was like, yeah, I'm not often am I wrong. Let's see if DC has one though. Let's see if DC has one. DC disabled. Let's say disabled in general. DC disabled superheroes. I don't feel like there's many. DC's not the type of people to do disability. Oh, there's Oracle, but she's
paralyzed.
Yeah, she was. Why can't I just say
another wheelchair? Cybernetic person. Jericho's nonverbal. Okay,
Hold on, this is not a good list. I need fictional. I need pictures. I need pictures. I'm stupid. Yeah, Oracle. She was. Let's just talk about superheroes in general, because now let's talk about Daredevil. Just okay, whatever.
Oracle.
Like, Oracle's Barbara Gordon. She used to be Batgirl,
yes,
and then Joker crippled her. Joker like shot her. Joker shot her in the spine or some shit.
Joker with the big plays always. Remember the time he beat a kid up so badly he murdered him with a crowbar? Paraplegic superhero. Okay. I
Barbara
mean, you
Gordon.
know.
Blind Faith. He's blind. Blindfold. The Chief. Count Vertigo. Cyborg. He's an amputee. Cyclops. He's blind without his visor. That's a stretch.
Wait, Cyclops. That's not DC.
This is in general, because they can't fucking get too many. The blind in one eye. All right, there's a difference between a character being blind in one eye as like a cool thing. He's like, oh, he's missing an eye, and then being like an actual representation of them being like
I mean, by that
disabled.
merit, fucking list Odin, right?
Yeah. Anyway, Destiny's another Marvel character who can see the fucking future and shit, and she's cool.
See the future, but can't see the present.
Yeah, that's the whole deal. She's really cool. I finished Days of Future Past, and she was in this. In that, she was part of Mystique's like new team. I don't know who these people are. A lot of doctors. There's Echo. A lot of these people.
Do you know who's not getting a mention here?
Iron Man heart condition. Who's not getting a mention?
Heart condition. Professor Xavier.
He would
Where
be
is he?
he'd be a P. There he is.
There he is.
Yeah, paraplegic.
And again, oh fucking paraplegic. Wow.
Because he makes himself stand a lot. That is true. He sometimes he's no longer disabled.
Let's just admit that Professor X
Madam
is at his
Web.
coolest in the wheelchair.
He is.
Luke Skywalker, amputee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of
Fucking
stretches here.
love
There's a
it.
lot of stretches here.
I fucking love it. Jesus Christ.
I didn't know Jubilee was like dyslexic, but for numbers. That's really funny.
Dyscalculia.
Dyscalculia. That's how you say that word.
Dyscalculia.
I was having you say it because I didn't know how to say it.
Dyscalculia.
Oh, Stick. I fucking hate Stick, but like in a good way. Stick is Daredevil's mentor, and he's a piece of shit. He's an absolute piece of
asshole
shit.
hero.
Yeah, he's like a fucking piece of shit. He's like, get up, kid, and he hits him in the head and shit. I fucking hate him, but
But let's be fair, half of Marvel superheroes are just kind of pricks.
yeah, and they're good.
It's what makes them intriguing.
That's what makes
but
them better. It's what makes them so much
yeah,
better.
It brings a human element to them that always made me more of a Marvel fan than DC.
Yeah, I think but
But at the same time, they are pricks.
Yeah, a good thing to note there was that a lot of the characters there who were big namers were Marvel. Like Professor
know
Xavier, crippled, Daredevil,
What if
blind.
Marvel had the balls to have Tony Stark beat his wife
I don't think they would have. He does
in the
like
movies?
he does not treat Pepper enough well enough already. I don't think.
Yeah, but
beating
he's
her
sort of
would've
like
been
more blasé about her and stuff like that.
I would have
What
been fine with
is,
him
like,
having the
dive in
alcoholism.
deep. Bring
I would've-
back like
I would have liked them to have the alcoholism because the alcoholism's
They
like
did.
probably the biggest. Nope, not really.
in Iron Man 2 in a big way.
And Iron Man 2 though, it's not really phased like an alcohol thing, more as his heart's failing on him because of the shrapnel, and that's kind of like why he's crashing out is because his heart's dying. So he's like, I might as well just fucking. It's not
The
like framed
very
as like an
first
addiction to
scene
alcohol,
of the
but like
first Iron Man movie has him drinking.
yeah, but more. That's
He
not
is
really.
shown drinking.
It's not an
at every
alcoholism thing
opportunity.
though. It's not really like I'm saying like yeah.
Oh, are you gonna be? Oh, it's not alcoholism.
No.
He just
No.
drinks a lot.
No. I'm saying because at the rest of the movie that never gets brought up again. It's not a plot. It's not like
Because
a
they
thing of
won't
his
touch on
character.
that hard subject.
That's
in
what
the
I'm
movies.
saying. That's what I'm saying. They should have done that. They should have had that be a part of Iron Man 2 at least, because that's when he was crashing out. Like if alcoholism was like a thing that was more prominent, not prominently focused on, but like a thing that was addressed. Whereas it's kind of just like he drinks a lot, but like he's got a lot of other issues going on too. Like the alcoholism isn't, because the alcoholism's a fucking major flaw of his in the comics, as far as I
Robert
know.
Downey Jr. is a really odd actor that way, though.
But that's like why he's perfect fireman,
His-
though. Because he lived in real life.
Yeah, he lived that arc in real life.
Yeah,
where
he already went
became,
over that
like,
arc.
You know, the bad playboy, asshole, drunk,
Yeah,
maniacal idiot to
yeah.
like what he is today.
Iron Man. He's Iron Man. He's honestly
Dr. Doom
He's
now.
honestly a perfect casting choice for Iron Man. Let's be real.
Look, I'll be honest. Look, before Iron Man,
You cut out
Because
after you
I
said, "I'll
think-
be honest."
I was a big fan of Downey Jr. before Iron Man. because I really do think, fuck his like popularity and the fact that we do actually see a little too much of Robert Downey Jr., but he is a really fucking good actor.
He is. He is. I like him a lot. I
Like
still think Chadwick Boseman's
comedy,
funny.
drama, he can do. I mean, one of my favorite roles was where he played Charlie Chaplin in the movie about Charlie Chaplin's life. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is one of his standout roles. And if you don't know Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, just watch Iron Man 3.
Yes, we still need to
the
watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. After I watched Iron Man 3, you were telling me all about it.
Yeah,
I think on
it
the
is
podcast you told me about
absolutely
it.
fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy.
I
I'm
don't
happy
think
to have been
enough
proven
people have
wrong.
seen
I'm
it.
still happy to be proven wrong about the deaf superhero thing. And again, DC fucking sucks, dude. Oh.
Yeah, but DC is all about power fantasy in that way more
Yeah.
than anything else. It's very much about like Superman, what are his powers? Whatever the writer
Being
wants them to be on any day.
perfect. Which is why Batman will still be the best fucking DC superhero.
Yeah.
He's
But
the only one who
I
who
remember
feels
an
human ever.
entire discussion about Superman's power, and at the end of it was like discussing this is all a moot point because Superman is always going to be as powerful as any story needs him to be.
I mean, that's true for a lot of superheroes and stuff, but I feel like DC always goes down to that. It always goes
The
down to
thing
that to
is
DC.
that Iron Man isn't going to spontaneously start shooting laser beams out of his eyes.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things that Iron Man can do, but I doubt that even Tony Stark.
Yeah, I don't you cut out again. Oh.
Like, Tony Stark's not going to fly into the middle of the sun in only his pajamas and suddenly become more powerful.
You don't know that.
But then you can say that for any superhero, and the conversation immediately becomes a moot point.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that this is a problem specific to writing Superman, because Superman has no upper limit.
Yeah.
He has no reason to ever really go down for any permanent length of time. And even kryptonite has not always worked on him.
Yeah.
In many stories.
I think the best situations to write about Superman is honestly whenever he's young. I find those always to be the best ones about him, because then it's like it always just boils down to you don't even need to be Superman for those stories to be good, because it's basically like a father teaching his son how to be responsible with the great power he's given, and that's just an interesting story to me, and it has like nothing to do with the fact he's Superman.
Superman media?
I have not.
The TV show?
I have not. The one, My Adventures of Superman?
The one with where he's like a dad and
I think that's it. I don't know. I think David's been watching the new Superman. When was it Superman and Lois Lane? Whatever the fuck.
Yeah, Superman and Lois or something like that.
Was it an animated show?
No.
Okay, then I don't
actually.
think I don't know that show exists. I don't know what that is.
Let me see if I can get at least pictures here of it.
So I know there's the My
Twitter.
Adventures with Superman that David's been watching. He says it was good. I think he did, at least. I don't know.
Is it this one? I think it's this one.
Was it a CW
Yes,
show?
2021. Yes.
Oh god. Okay.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about this whenever we talked about the CW shows. Yeah, I don't know.
No, we spoke about Smallville. This is
yeah, I think we mentioned it quickly though. Like I think I saw this
Yeah.
pop up when we were talking about that.
Yeah, this
that looks like
to
shit.
me feels. I've only seen YouTube shorts of it. I'll be honest, so far.
Mm.
But it just seems very strange.
It looks so shit. But I'm only
I
looking
do
at like
think
the
that
physical.
the actor looks very Superman-y.
Yeah. I'm just so used to like what's his fucking name? The guy right there who's right there. What's his fucking name?
Henry
Cavill. Yeah. He's just like the perfect Superman actor. So like
Shout out to this dude. What happened to him?
I don't know who that is.
That's the Smallville guy.
Oh. Yeah, well.
What's his name?
He doesn't look like Superman.
What is his name?
Henry Cavill is just like the best superhero actor Superman actor you can get.
Tom Welling. Oh. He's aged like fucking cheese.
That's a good thing though. Right?
No. Aging like wine is good. Aging like cheese is bad.
Why?
Because cheese gets moldy.
Is he from New
Wine
Jersey?
gets fancier.
Is he from New Jersey? Because he looks like he's from New Jersey. He's from New York. Okay, close enough. He's from New York.
New York. New York.
Close enough. He's from the area. He's got it's the same thing really when I'm saying that.
But he did back in the day. He did have
Okay, yeah,
the look
yes, that
of a young
is
Superman. If there was any person who could play a young Superman,
I will
it really
say
was him.
Now he looks like a knockoff of Joey Fatone. In some of these photos.
Some of these photos are awful. So like, what
like
you,
that
what
one.
doing,
That one looks like a. He looks like.
But yeah, it's, I think that he's got a good Superman look for the story they're telling.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Like, this is not big budget Superman. This is not like AAA movie. Like,
can't believe they still make these CW shows.
Look, the CW shows are some of the worst things on the fucking planet, I swear. Like, the entire DC, CW...
Grod again.
like, CW, DC universe thing is so incredibly stupid to me. I still remember, this was back when I was living in the grow house. They would love watching... What was that show? What was it? Where they time travel.
Oh, I don't know. That's the one, the Make America Grodd Again. Where they go back in time and Gorilla Grodd wants to kill Obama.
There's a lot of Legends.
Sounds like it's true.
DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
That sounds like it's a time travel show.
DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, I saw that fucking photo there with the flash. That looks like shit.
Here we go. Here's your
Oh, that looks like...
It's got the guy from Prison Break, which always fucking broke me when I saw it, because it has both of the guys from Prison Break.
Oh, that font! Oh, the font on the one to the right. That one. No, not that one. That one's bad, but that one... Ooh, that font is so bad. That looks like shit.
The show was
This
awful.
looks like
I had to
shit.
sit through so much of this. I had to sit, and they have this flash come as well.
He looks like he's 50 years older than he should be. He's not. He doesn't look like he's 50.
This show was legitimately fucking wild.
What is that blue creature?
Where?
What's that blue? Onto the right. What is that?
I didn't watch this much of the show. I tapped out for a lot of it. I just
looks like shit.
Honest, but
I think
you can imagine, like, look at this. Is this the motherfucker from Suits?
He's so pudgy. Look at him. He's pudging out of that suit. Hold on. I want to like make a point here about I want to make a point here about color use in these movies here. Oh wait, are you cut out? I think. If you were saying anything.
My internet seems fine.
No, on my end, it's really bad to you. I think our connection in general together is really bad.
Rip.
I want to make a point here though on color in this, because the issue here is the lighting and the colors. It looks so cheap. Like, go to that poster down there. You see that one there with like them all standing in a ring to the left? The left? That one. That one. This looks like shit. This looks so bad. The light blues and the oranges seem to be a really big theme with these, and it's just really bad. The one on the top left, that one looks good. Season 7? Wait a fucking minute. How many seasons of the show are there?
It's a lot.
But that top,
do you 2021.
Do you see that top left poster there? That one looks good, kinda.
This is a comic book.
Is that a comic book?
This is a comic book type poster.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay, I thought you were saying that was an actual comic book.
This is not like pictures of.
But like that's stylized though. These look like
stylized.
That's what I'm saying. But like you can still do those promotional stylized art for your show. You don't need to do these fucking dumbass like green screen poses here. It looks like shit. I don't know anything about this. I'm never gonna watch the show.
I'm muting this.
Okay, hold on.
But
I think
this is how the show looks visually.
Oh no!
Like it's not good. Like let's
it looks
skip
cheap
ahead to like
shit.
Like this is what the fuck is this? Like What was that? What was that? No, no. What? What? Where is it? Am I on drugs? Am I on drugs? What the fuck? So yes, this show is awful. This show is awful. Like I look, the writers, the actors, they may be passionate about their work. They may love what they do every day. They obviously after like 6, 7 seasons, obviously these people have become friends and all of that. They have pride in their work. Honestly, the show just sucks.
I just remembered something I need to show you.
Don't think it's anybody's fault in particular, other than the CW style of show is terrible.
I need to show you the Brave New World trailer for the Captain America movie, because there's an effect in here that is so bad. I need you to see it. I need you to see how bad this scene looks. It looks like a CW shot. Look at this. Oh, his landing. Did you see?
Why does his leg look broken?
Oh.
Can you play that in slow-mo? Can you
I will.
change
I
the
will play.
setting
I will
there to
play it in
that?
slow mo.
Because there's something very funny about that landing on the leg.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, there's something very weird about that landing on the leg.
He's not on the bottom of his foot. He's not on, like, his foot is to the left. Also, the effect in general just looks like shit. Like, we'll slow it down here. The way the way the wings go in and the helmet comes off just looks like complete dog shit. I think
Yeah, that's very.
Yeah, the
That's
way
very
the
rushed
MCU
work.
in general has changed everything to be nanobots and stuff on the suits, so that everything is no longer a physical suit anymore. Like, it doesn't feel like, whenever people are wearing the suits in the MCU stuff now, it doesn't feel like they're wearing actual suits. Like, when I was watching the 2002 Spider-Man movie with the Green Goblin suit, that suit felt real. That felt like a real suit they were wearing. When
Yeah.
in Iron Man, in certain scenes when Iron Man would have his helmet off and he'd just be wearing the suit, that felt like a real suit. When I see, like, them wearing their, like, helmets were always a thing that felt like not real when they would wear them. But when I'm watching something like some of the other Iron Man movies, or some of the other fucking shit, like Captain America, his little helmet, his little hat thing, that's real thing. That's a real thing they're wearing. But
Yeah.
whenever I see the new shit, whenever they're wearing a mask or a helmet, it doesn't feel real, because then it just comes off with nanobots. And it's like, oh, that thing, oh, that whole entire time it was just CGI. Fucking that wasn't real. They weren't wearing that. It's just like, bleh. It feels like it feels. And also the effects look like shit when they get the nanobots. So it's not even good. So it's like,
Yeah, but look, I actually, speaking on the topic of like these special effects, I watched a video in defense of Green Lantern. And you know what? The video won me over, because it really was like the way, because it's a special effects um person
mhm,
who made the video.
mhm,
So they know what they're talking about.
mhm.
And they pointed out all of the uphill struggles and decisions that were made that led to how bad it looked. And yeah, you really start to understand that what the studio wanted and what they were willing to provide resource wise were just too far apart. Like
Mhm.
they actually went into detail about how hard it was to just make it look that good.
Yeah.
Like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks just to get like 2 seconds
Yeah.
of viable, like something you can put on a big screen.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I've always
that's brutal.
Yeah, I've always had sympathy for the special effects workers, because it is hard work. It's really hard, and studios fucking rush this shit out, so they have no time to work on it. So shit oftentimes doesn't look the best and doesn't look like what they want it to look like, because they don't have time to make it look like what they want it to look like. And
Yeah, what was the big inciting thing that made people scream and shout? Was the floating head.
yeah, MODOK. Yeah,
MODOK.
MODOK was.
Floating
I mean,
head.
MODOK looks like shit in Ant-Man Quantumania. Not only does the character have like a bad implementation into the story, but he looks like complete dog shit.
No, not this floating head. The time they were talking to some kid who was just an effect on, like, all you could see was his floating head.
Floating head. What do you know? What
I
movie
didn't
it
even
was?
know this was in the no. Probably it was it was
Floating head. Floating head.
I don't know. I didn't watch any of the movies. I just saw people scream and
What
shout
characters were
about
there?
it. This is what I'm talking about. Thor: Love and Thunder. This effect in the movie.
Oh
Like a picture of it
no!
can only make it look so bad, but if you saw this thing, like,
I haven't seen this movie yet.
here we go.
Hit alert.
It's Astrid, Heimdall's son.
Don't.
Oh yeah, copyright. Yeah. Oh my god! Hey Jimmy, we need you to wear a green screen, little in on your body, and then we're gonna record you real quick.
I don't even think it was that. I think they like recorded him somewhere else, and then it was a superimpose, and that's what made it look so poor. But also the fact that it was probably done very quickly. So yeah, I feel for the special effects
Yeah.
supervisors. Those or not supervisors, but the special effects workers who are like really overworked, underpaid, and not given enough time or resources to do what they're asked. And then they get shit on the hardest when the movies look like
because
crap.
people are stupid.
And
It's like when people blame the actors and actresses. It's like, why are you doing that? The only time you can blame an actor and actress is when they're like The Rock. Because he's an active participant in why it's so bad. Yeah, well, he's not just the actor in that situation. He's also like the director, the writer, the producer. He's like everything in that situation. But like The Rock,
he's every problem that could happen on a movie.
Yeah, he is the movie. It's his movie.
No, it's his holiday which he filmed. I am so annoyed by that fact.
No, it's fucking awesome.
Nothing made me more sick to my stomach than hearing Adam Sandler go like, yeah, sure, I'll just like use the money that Sony gives me to go on like a fancy expensive holiday to an exotic location.
Okay, but it's like,
and then write it off because it's a film shoot.
Okay, but it's not like he's taking money from like,
it's
not like he's like taking money from people who need it.
And here's the peak of it. I'm going to spend the money to hire the most beautiful actresses to play my wife every single time.
No, I support it. Keep doing that, Adam Sandler. Keep doing that.
Adam, I fucking smack you.
We should be wrapping up now. We've been going for a bit. The disconnects have been really fucking annoying.
Lots of editing to do.
Yeah, I got a lot of cutting out to do. Hopefully it's not going to be too bad. I won't be able to edit it today, because I have to do homework to do.
You got till Sunday.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everyone who stopped in and listened and stuff. For all of you who are going in the winter, stay warm, stay bundled up. Don't become like me with my broken hands of blood from all the cold. I don't know where I'm going with this. Did you have anything to say?
Everybody who's heading towards summer, try keeping cool. I guess.
Don't do the same mistake I did, Jade. No.
I will dig this hole with you.
No.
I will dig this hole with you.
No. Okay.
All right, let's jump in the hole.
Okay. We're in the hole now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.